I know y'all love the videos where I'm just ranting and just going straight off the dome, right? So, and let me know if you prefer those style and type of videos. But I want to talk about why I'm a little bit more conservative than most people in crypto, right? You still see a lot of these personalities in crypto with the same mentalities. They still want to just push buy crypto, buy this, but there's never like, why should I buy that? And what's the risk of buying it? And I know a lot of people that watch my channel is hard working people. Y'all work hard for y'all money. We all work hard for our money. And it's unfortunate to be, embedded into a system, this system, this algorithm that continues to extract. I talked about how I went in the gas station the other day and seen a pack of gum for $6. I'm like, 14 pieces. Like, what's going on? Gum, $6? Coffee. I can't even go get coffee without spending $4. So it's just crazy, right? And we're in this arena where it's just full of uncertainty, even in the AI sector, which brings me to my next thought. I feel like if you're not investing in AI infrastructure or learning how to use the tools, then in the next 3 to 5 years, it's going to be really, really tough. I honestly don't know how the world is going to look in the next 5 years. That's because, think about it, everything that we're getting today seems to be like, it's like it doesn't make sense. It could go either way. It could be bullish. It could be bearish. It could be something that's risky. It could be something that it could be a headwind. It could be a tailwind. It could be anything. For example, I've seen some news that one of the attacks are on data centers. So I'm thinking, like, why would they attack a data center? And then it hit me. It's like, okay, a lot of these companies, for the people that's watching this video that don't know, they invested billions, trillions into AI infrastructure. And a lot of that AI infrastructure is in the Middle East. So they like, okay, we'll take out y'all data centers that y'all borrowed money to build. Y'all borrowed money to build this shit out here, right? Y'all want to come mess with us? We'll take out y'all data centers, infrastructure, sea cables, whatever y'all got going on that has anything to do with the intelligence area. We just take it out because y'all don't have the money to rebuild it, because inference is still exceeding the cost, right? Exceeding the revenue brought in from AI, right? Inference cost and electricity cost is still exceeding the revenue brought in from AI. To put that into perspective, everything you do today is putting out some sort of compute or inference. It doesn't matter if you watching a fucking anime video and you say, hey, I want AI dub generated. When that dub come across the screen, that's AI inference. That's inference. That's thought process. That's responding. That's compute. That's power. Any little thing, right? So when they say, oh, we want to integrate AI into military, into defense, you got to think about how much compute and inference that's going to take. So when they start taking out the data centers that act as the place of business for this compute, for this power, then that messes up everything. So right there, I'm like, yeah, that's not an environment I want to play around with my money. Right? If I'm going to invest, if I'm going to put money in the market, I need to put it into the things that the market can't go without, based on what the market is attempting to build. And this is why I'm so bullish on AI infrastructure. Like, if we were in an environment where liquidity was abundant, we could play around with meme coins. We could say, oh, next 100x. No, but bro, this is not the time for that. There's not time for that. There's countries around the world that's going through power outages. Go look at the price of beef. This is not the time to be playing with your money. This is also not the time to be distracted with none of this shit. Because a lot of people are going to get caught off guard from the top to the bottom. For example, what are the people going to do at the top when AI starts replacing lawyers, judges? I always say, go watch that movie Mercy. What people going to do at the top? And then think about it as an investor. Are those people going to start uh, uh, reconstructing their investment thesis because maybe they're not as wealthy as they were because they lost their $200,000 job to artificial intelligence. When Anthropic comes out and says, hey, AI is 70% of white collar jobs right now, where you got these hit articles saying that a lot of these companies are firing people off their job off the if AI might work off it might work. Not, oh, it's already here and it's working. Oh, this sounds good. It might work. It's going to save me money. Hey, you lose your job. So lawyers, doctors, woo, all of this stuff, programmers, all getting replaced at the top. That's a lot of money that's going to be taken out of financial markets where people have to start putting that same money to emergency funds for 3 to 6 months. You don't think they're going to sell? They're going to sell their assets, guys. They're going to sell their assets, sell in May and go the fuck away. So this is not the time to be playing with your money. And then what about the people in the lower tier? The lower tier people, right? What happens when you got to go in front of a fucking AI judge and you're innocent, but the judge is going specifically off the facts and can't see the gray areas of the truth, right? And a lot of people get put away. Go watch that movie, bro. A lot of people get put away for shit that they ain't even do. Just based off, because you got to understand, AI is trained from shit that's already been done. Like it's trained from like data that's here, right? It can't go off some data that's never been done. This is why the 25% of people the big brains that can not per se outthink AI, but can formulate things in thoughts like inventions, right? You know what I mean? There wasn't AI. And I'm not going to get into like ancient technology and none of that shit because I know how y'all is, but that wasn't AI there where you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers was creating the plane and the Wright brothers. They didn't have AI or none of that. That was straight off the dome. So the people that's going to be able to still do stuff off the dome are going to be the ones that pioneer the next training models of AI. Because only thing that AI can do is go off, is have like a world type of thinking, like possibility. What if I look at this and historically and the percentage of how much times this may happen, it's a good chance that this happens again. Like that's how AI thinks, right? But there's gray areas that only humans can identify, And we need to figure out that we need to be that 25% that can identify the stuff that AI cannot identify and build the data for the next frontier models. Or it's going to be messed up. It's going to be messed up, man. People, I'm telling you, man, like people don't understand how AI is going to look when they get in that judicial system, governments, lawyers, judges. That's going to be fucking scary, dog. That's going to be scary. Let me know in the comments if you agree. So like when you think about every little thing that we do today requires some type of compute, right? There's opportunity. Okay, well, Millie, the oil crisis, we might be going through an oil crisis. Well, now everybody's looking at nuclear energy to power these data centers because they can't require on if freaking Iran is going to shut down Hormuz. Now we all effed up. Everybody effed up, right? So they can't rely on that. So now it's like we got to invest into nuclear energy. Opportunity there. EV cars. Now everybody probably going to be like, man, I should have got me an EV car. Going to run and get EV car. There's going to be investment opportunities there. And it all, again, aligns with infrastructure. Now, let me tie that into what's going on with the sports, right? You're seeing the TV sports networks closing down, going out of business because everybody is looking at things from their phone, mobile viewing. No one's watching TV, right? When potential recession hits, the first things that people look at is stuff like cable. They like, I don't need to be paying for cable. I don't need to be paying for these movie subscriptions. I can do everything from my phone. You can literally do everything on Claude and all of this shit directly from your phone. So if you are already a person that create content, you can start looking at, and for instance, like the sports, like, oh shit, sports networks going out of business. This is going to create more opportunities for individual brands. The time now, this is the best time now to invest into yourself and create a brand, because you can help, because AI can help you integrate that brand. You got I think Meta was the dude for, I think it's Sam Altman, and the CEO of Anthropic, or one of those guys. They're betting right now. They're betting on who can create the first one-man billion-dollar company. When a one-man billion-dollar company gets created, who needs workers? So for the people that hadn't invested into the infrastructure, now in the next 5 to 10 years, once all of this shit blows up, because we got 5 to 10 years to make money before the bubble hit. Because if everybody can create a one-person business, then who will be the consumers? Who will be the buyers? How will people even make money? How does that even look? I'm sorry, I'm allergic. I got a lot of pollen going on, so my nose is itching, guys. I'm sorry. But like, who is the buyers? This is why Elon Musk talk about the universal high income. This is why he talk about that. Because it's like, if everybody can build a one-man business, who are the person who buys the products, right? Because I can just do what you just did. I can reverse engineer, clone, and GitHub with AI just like you can. It's all at the cusp of our tips. Intelligence is now becoming a commodity. So the people who actually use this stuff will position themselves to separate in the next 5 to 10 years. In the next 5 to 10 years. It's not a coincidence that we are clearly seeing a war for compute, the grid, and energy. If them specifically taking out a data center don't show you the importance of, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what to tell you. And that just makes my thesis on Button even stronger. Because think about it. If Facebook put billions of dollars into a data center, and that data center or that C cable get taken out, they most likely will never go build on another one over. They like, bro, I just borrowed money to build a data center, and then my shit get taken out, and I gotta buy it to fix it. Nah, let's just go with the decentralized alternatives. And then you got Target sitting right there that's offering private encrypted compute. That's the main reason these big companies never touched it. Now it's there. That's just one subnet, by the way. So anyway, guys, I don't want to make this specifically about Button, but the point is, it's not about quitting, giving up. It's about repositioning yourself now for the future regimes, the future monetary system, because it's already being implemented. You might not see it. You might go and buy something, or, you know, pay for something on Walmart and all that, and think like it's the same financial system for the 1970s. It's not like that. This is why banks are trying to get stablecoin, are working to create their own stablecoins. Walmart working to create their own stablecoins, because with the old monetary system, right? Let's say you take $1,000 out of your bank. It's only being tracked on a ledger first. That money doesn't actually move. It's just being written down on a spreadsheet, like, oh, they took $1,000 out. Let me record that. And then within the 3 to 5 days, it actually gets moved, right? And if it's on the weekend, it's fucked. But what stablecoins are doing, they've changed the whole plumbing in the real way of the system. Now, in the future, people are going to be able to get paid, you know, every, like, by the hour, like they're supposed to, right? You want this done now. Can I get my money now? You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I need my money today. So everything that is already being reconstructed, you're just not seeing it. Right? And what these stable coins will allow is instant cross-border transactions, instant business-to-business transactions, instant payments, no need for a ledger, no need for a spreadsheet. It happens automatic, instant. And this is why stablecoins brought in like what, 33, some crazy number. I don't know. It was 33 trillion, 33 billion. It was more than Visa and MasterCard, which annually brings about 1350. So I think it was like 33 trillion that stablecoins brought in. And that's why banks are like, oh, whoa, hold on. You cut in for my bag. But guys, this is happening. And AI and crypto is directly correlated. And I can go into surveillance and how they want to, the future of monetary surveillance and all of that. Like there is a spooky side to this. And if you want me to make a video on the spooky side of this, let me know in the comments. Anyways, guys, it's your boy Crypto Millie. My allergies starting to mess up. I gotta finish this video. If I think about anything else, I will drop it. If you like these type of videos where I'm ranting, let me know. And also let me know in the comments your sentiment on AI. Do you really like AI? Do you really like crypto? I'd love to know how y'all feel. Is this oils and energy crisis starting to affect you? Let me know in the comments, because guys, if you don't engage, if you don't comment, if you don't like, if you don't subscribe, they might never put my video into the algorithm. So I really, really appreciate it if you guys do that. It's your boy Millie, and I'll see you in the next one.